we are here at Fyuz 22 at the stand of Rebaca Technologies. I'm speaking to Gaurav Sehgal, who is VP of Network Services at Tech Mahindra. And I'm also speaking to Samir Chatterjee, who is the founder and CEO of Rebaca Technologies. So, Gaurav, why don't you tell us what you are showing here?
What we're showing here is basically a collaboration between Telecom and Rebaca. So Telecom being a telco DNA organization, we are working on various automation frameworks. And our own platform, which is cloud native, called Netops.AI, which runs the complete CI/CD and test automation framework, is partnered with Rebaca, who is giving us the test automation suite for us to able to go and deliver the services to our operators much more seamless and do all the testing which is required to do for launch of any services. So for example, any operator wants to launch a voltage service or a packet core service or even ORAN services, there's a rigorous testing which is required for different test cases, which is being provided by multiple application providers. Now you want an orchestration tool, a CI/CD tool, and you also need a strong testing partner. So Telecom is bringing the Netops.AI, which is the framework to run the automation, and Rebaca, a bot platform, gives that platform to be triggered for an operator to start using it more seamlessly and launch a service much more appropriately and much more faster. That's what the collaboration is all about, and that's what we're demonstrating here to our customers.
So, Samir, what do you say? Tell us more about the platform.
Sure. I mean, like Gaurav mentioned, Abbott's a solution that we have built, which is a test framework and an analytics solution. Now, with ORAN or 5G, one of the biggest challenge is end-to-end testing. And as part of end-to-end testing, the difficulty is to write these end-to-end test cases, which touches different specifications. So ABOT is a framework, which is a continuous test framework, which allows you to write these test cases in a domain language, which is very much English-like. So anybody with a little bit of the domain knowledge can write these test cases, and there is an AI engine that works as an editor to help scale these test cases. Scaling these test cases and analyzing them, doing the root cause analysis is the biggest challenge of this deployment. And that's what Abbott solves. And so, like Gaurav mentioned, the Netops.AI is a CI engine, which is triggering Abbott test cases. And then these test cases, we can emulate any of the RAN components or any of the 5G components or SMO or even the RIC. So we can even use it for X apps, R apps. And this is a completely cloud hosted. And it's a test as a service platform too. So you can execute them, pay as you go. And so these test cases get executed, they get analyzed, call ladder diagrams are generated, PCAPs and all that, they all get parsed. So we have tried to take this entire testing and automated it so that deployment of these network functions can be fully automated. Without this automation, as the different software releases are happening, it's very difficult for any vendor to actually go ahead and keep up with the pace of a multi-vendor disaggregated solution that entire industry is talking about. And that's what Abbott's all about.
Yeah, that's actually, you guys are covering a lot of ground here with your solution. So basically, my next question is, which tip groups are you guys involved in? So I know probably Telecom is involved in a lot of groups, but what about you guys?
So we are involved with part of this Event Star program, which is an open RAN initiative for interoperability. So different RAN vendors are coming in, and they are trying to, RAN, as you know, has become disaggregated. So now that sounds great, but how do you make it all work? And in RAN, as opposed to the, even in 5G, the number of variants, the number of different options are huge. So like Gaurav mentioned, for an SI or for any OEM, to build these test cases, to make them work, to find people knowledgeable about it is the biggest challenge. So what we are bringing to the table as part of this Open RAN initiative is how do you scale these test cases? How do you come up with these test cases that can easily scale, that can execute automatically, and then can be analyzed, where you can measure KPIs, container statistics, CPU, RAM, disk utilizations, then different network slices. So we can trigger, different video. This is part about metaverse. Metaverse is all about enhanced video. So we test out live video, we test out gaming applications, images, and then understand how this all works, triggered through this Netops platform, and that's what this whole partnership is all about.
I think from a tip perspective, what we do as Tech Mahindra is run various labs. I would say neutral labs across the globe. So all those benchmarking, testing, validation, multi-vendor, multi-technology, we all do it neutrally. So we also help save the confidentiality of any operator or any kind of vendor who wants to work with a third-party company. They will not do that because of compete pattern. But Techem, with their lab facility, we kind of have those vendors come in, talk out. We can flip on any technology, any versions in no time. And we provide lab as a service as to our operators and even to tip community. So anybody can just come in and say, hey, I want to do a testing of this use case. Can you please help me do the validation? And that's something what we're doing for our customers, including not just the operators, but now with private 5G. I believe that the enterprise is going to really open up because enterprise will not have that level of network knowledge and also that level of people skills. And that's something really opens up a new avenues from an SI perspective.
How do you think is Open RAN really affecting the industry?
I think two parts to it. One is, I think Open RAN is basically about change in culture, change in people mindset. Because if I have to change something radically from using a traditional radio to everything open, multi-vendor, it needs a change of minds, change of people, skills, culture of the organization. So that's the starting point. After you've done that, then what should be the best of the breed vendors to be taken into your network? Who will test it? Who will validate that? The benchmarking reports. Who will run the operations once somebody builds it for you? A single partner who knows everything from an end-to-end life cycle is something which Open RAN is opening up for different partners. And I think SIs like Techem would never be so relevant in the last time, but now they are because of simple reason that customers really want a single SI who runs the complete show for them. Right from giving them skills, giving them consulting, giving them the build, plan, design, implementation, and also running the operations with the desired KPIs. And this kind of tools which we have built internally is basically because we believe that this is the need of the hour. Because getting everything together as an ecosystem player, you need a strong automation framework which helps you to deliver all these KPIs. So that's what things are changing. I think it's a long journey to go, but I think the industry as a whole is making a good step forward. And I think I see a lot of positivity around in this area.
So do you want to add something,
No,
Samir?
I think you mentioned it, but it's Open RAN is a great initiative, and it's we're talking about capex, opex, and all that. But I was at one of the sessions, and it's an interesting conversation that came. It just moved from capex to opex. Now, it's to make Open RAN a reality. It's a journey. Because like you mentioned, one neck to choke, and you want to go from an OEM vendor who could solve that problem to now you have who do you choke? Because now there is a lot of IP issues. Are they going to open up to what? And then how much? And then there is a lot of vendor proprietary implementations. And then RAN is it's a complex technology, radio, and then all the different modulation techniques and all these different things that made things efficient, that differentiated from one RAN vendor to another one. Now you're expecting that to be completely open. That's a big goal. So now, integration and making things work is going to be a big challenge. And I think it's a long journey. It's not an easy game. I believe there's a huge opportunity around data science, huge opportunity around machine learning, artificial intelligence, because trying to expect a third party to understand this and know this from vendors is going to be, IP and all that is going to be an issue. So if there are software and components that could actually use these modeling techniques that can interoperate, those could be some of the things that would be interesting. But I think we're just at the very beginning of the whole journey. Even though we are talking about a lot of this, a lot of vendors are doing a lot of interoperability testing. We are happy to be part of some of that, but we are learning, to be honest with you. We are just, we're just making baby steps.
We are nearly at the end of day 2, right? And my question to both of you is, how has the Fyuz experience been so far?
The entire setups are very warm. It's actually kind of put together for harboring collaboration. Lot of opportunity around meeting people, discussing, and being able to discuss about cooperations. I think there is a lot of relevant folks as opposed to some of the other shows where primarily it's sales. Here there is a lot of interest in terms of collaborating, solving problems, figuring out how to make things work as opposed to sell. I think that's towards the industry collaboration, a betterment of the industry. I think this has been a great initiative.
I think the industry, this event has been, I think, two things. One is the food and the metaverse. So I think that's something which is profound. So everybody wants to eat good food, and there was some good, interesting mix of cuisines available. So that's one thing which was a good learning point. Second, obviously, is about metaverse. So all the Open RAN networks or any core networks which are being built, the use case everyone wants to address is how do we get the immersive experience for the enterprise and for the subscribers at large. And that is all about metaverse. So that's the theme. These two takeaways from my perspective.
As in, it doesn't have to be just in Fyuz, but in general, what's your favorite cuisine? Is it Indian?
I love the Oriental food.
Okay.
So my comfort food is to eat Oriental food, anything from Southeast Asia. So maybe even Japanese for that matter.
Okay.
So maybe sushi or maybe some like Oriental food. That's my comfort food. Apart from being Indian, I obviously love Indian food. Yeah.
Well, I'm also Indian, so I like Indian food. But then there was some very interesting food that was served here. Patés and different types of duck and tuna and with avocado wrapped up in different shells, beetroot hummus. So I think the food was really very good. Great job.
Fusion, Fyuz.
Yeah, fusion, Fyuz.
Yeah.
Very well said, Gaurav.
So
Very
really
well said.
good to hear that you have been enjoying the cuisine here and enjoying the show. So great to see you, Gaurav.
Thank
And
you very
Samir.
much, Zaid.